Okay, so the big thing happening today, of course, is James Comey. And, you know, I was having a conversation with my dad about it earlier, and he was all... We were talking about the fact that James Comey wasn't really good at his job, like, in terms of, like, the political side of it, like... And my dad was like, yeah, he needed to be fired. He didn't handle certain things well, and so on and so forth, and et cetera, et cetera. And I somewhat agree with that. And then I brought up the point of, well, I think James Comey would have done the job of FBI director really, really well if it hadn't been for all the political bullshit, you know? I look at James Comey, and I feel like he's the type of guy who just wants to do his job. He wants to, you know, as the FBI director, he wants to run the FBI. He doesn't want to have to deal with the political bullshit of it. That's what I get the impression of anyway, regardless of whether or not, you know, I don't know. That's my impression. And maybe that is true, maybe it isn't, but, you know, I think he was in a really bad spot, you know, with the whole Clinton investigation stuff. Like, you can look at that and go, oh, James Comey, he cucked or whatever, and so on and so forth, but, like, really, like, could he have really done anything to the Clintons? I mean, it was during a presidential campaign. It's not like this was coming up at, like, some random point when Clinton was quasi-irrelevant, and didn't have any power. She had a lot of power. She was in the middle of running for a campaign. She had a lot of money. She had a lot of people backing her. She had a lot of eyes on her. And she was competing for one of the highest positions in the world, okay? Like, the United States, as a country, as a nation, it's pretty fucking boss. I mean, our military is badass. Everybody else looks to us for, like, money and military help and all that other bullshit. Being the president of the United States is really fucking important. And just think, what do you think would have happened to Comey if he had come out with, especially with all the people backing Clinton, her basically being the only candidate from the DNC having screwed over Bernie Sanders, who probably would have won the nomination had he had a fair chance. Anyway, I don't think Comey could have come out and just straight up said, oh yeah, Clinton needs to be prosecuted, we're going to go through with prosecution, and so on and so forth. I don't think he was capable of that, you know, and especially with Barack Obama in office, that might have gotten him fired or something. I don't know, maybe he was threatened? I'm not sure. I mean, there's so much going on there. Like, you're dealing with the former Secretary of State. You're not dealing with someone insignificant. Like, the Clintons are powerful. They're really, really powerful. They've got money backing them up. They had Saudi Arabia backing them up. Like, trust me, the Saudis, they love Clinton. They give her tons of money. Or they did before, you know, she lost and she started complaining to literally everybody under the sun how it's literally everybody else's fault except for her own that she lost the election, which is hilarious considering the fact that she barely campaigned. I mean, yeah, she had commercials, sure, you know, on the TV. And the vast majority of voters who voted in this last election were probably those people interacting with social media. It's a different world than when she ran the last time, you know? It's a completely different world. I didn't even see any of her campaign ads because all throughout the campaign and the election and stuff, I watched either Fox News or I didn't watch the TV because the TV just isn't my thing. Anyway, it's just funny. She's just complaining and blaming everybody else, and it's her goddamn fault that she lost the election because she didn't campaign. Well, it's not purely her fault. It is her fault because she sucks. She didn't campaign. It's the media's fault too, though, because the media was like, oh yeah, Clinton's got it. She's in the bag. Everybody's gonna vote for her. Everybody, yeah. Don't worry about it. So nobody fucking was like, oh yeah, I really gotta get out and vote. And meanwhile, Trump was doing rally after rally after rally after rally, drawing thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And they think that he's got a 95% disapproval rate. Oh god, these people are stupid! So dumb! Anyway, so yeah. I just, in that situation, I just feel for Comey, okay? You know, like, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, if he was just able to do his job, because he does seem like he could do the functions of running the FBI, you know, competently, but the political side of it, I don't think, you know, first of all, it was an untenable situation. Second of all, he may not have handled it properly, you know, and there may have been a better way to go about it. And now everybody just kind of hates Comey. I think Comey would have, you know, done a better job if he just picked a side or something, but he didn't fucking do that. And Trump hasn't crossed any sort of lines, as far as I know, in this entire case. Like, the stuff that they're trying to get him on or complaining about, it's always like, okay, well, here's the line, right? Like, the line's right here, and this would be crossing the line. Well, Trump approaches the line, and then he stops right here. He never crosses the line. He always stops right here, you know, before he actually gets to the line. And so it's like, dude, he didn't cross the line. You can't get him on anything. Like, oh, can you go, oh, was that questionable? Yeah, it's approaching the line. Whenever something approaches the line, it gets questionable. But did he cross the line? No, he didn't. And I don't know where you could find anywhere where Trump has actually crossed those lines, you know? Oh, he makes stupid Twitter tweets, okay? Words on a platform when he's trying to get a feel for what people think. Have you guys ever thought that maybe he uses Twitter so not just as a platform but for himself, maybe to see if people like his ideas? Like, think about that. Like, oh, Trump posts a tweet about tax reform, and, you know, he gets 50,000 likes on it or something like that. And then he posts another one about gay pride, and he gets 30,000. Well, what is he going to prioritize? Well, you know, you can see what, you know, his particular fans actually are interested in that way. If he's not using it that way, I think that would be an amazing way to use it. And so sometimes he does it sometimes just to fuck with the media too. But it's like nothing he's done, nothing he has actually done himself has crossed any sort of line. He approaches it, but you know, I think you're allowed to approach lines. The line's there for a reason. We've decided that's the line you can't cross, and here's the reason why you can't cross that line. But if Trump approaches the line, he still hasn't crossed it. And I don't know, this whole Russia, Trump, Comey, Clinton, fucking Putin, all this fucking shit. This is just like the most convoluted fucking bullshit, you know? It's like, what it really boils down to is Comey had no idea how to handle the situation because it was far too complex for him to deal with in a political way that would have made people happy with him. He was bound to piss off literally everyone just doing his job, right? And Clinton is fucking guilty as hell. That's all it boils down to. Trump's done nothing, really. I mean, he won the presidency because Clinton was corrupt as hell. And actually, I'm kind of glad it ended up this way, because the alternative would have been that Bernie Sanders would have won. Oh my god, that would have been so terrible. Okay, definitely don't want a socialist in office. Rather deal with Trump, a mild reformer that everybody calls evil Cheeto, orange Hitler, white supremacist, bigot, asshole, orange man. He's so fucking evil. Oh yeah. Yeah, but he hasn't crossed any lines. That's the thing. We have lines for a reason. He's allowed to approach them. If you don't like him approaching those lines, make the lines different. That means you have to go back into the laws and change the laws and make the laws different. But you can't apply those laws back to what Trump did. So what the fuck's the point? And you guys are just going after him because he's Trump. Literally, the only reason this shit is going down right now with Comey and investigating Trump and all this shit is because, well, it's Trump. They don't like Trump. That's it. The media made him out to be this pure evil Hitler Nazi devil caricature, and he hasn't crossed any lines. There's nothing you can do to him. He's the president of the United States. It's hilarious. It's so funny to me that all this is going on. It's like Clinton should be in prison. She really should. Comey had an impossible situation he didn't know how to deal with. And Trump has done nothing. Like this is the situation. It's just there's so much drama with bringing in the Russians. The Russians have absolutely nothing to do with any of this, you know, unless they bought, like, documents from Clinton or something like that. That's the only considerable, like, thought that I could think. I mean, and then you got, you know, Seth Rich, I guess, isn't, you know, unfortunately lost his life doing something I would consider patriotic. Just another, like, indication that you know, Clinton is corrupt as hell. It all just boils down to Clinton's corrupt as hell, Comey didn't know how to handle the situation, and Trump's never crossed any lines. He's gonna be the president of the United States, and that's it. You guys talking about impeachment is like, he's done nothing wrong. He hasn't crossed those lines. And you guys aren't gonna go through and change the laws because the next time one of your guys is in office, you want him to be able to approach those lines. You know, the way that they are right now. I don't know, these people are just stupid. They're just dumb. And it's why they've lost power completely. The Clintons, them running Hillary Clinton for office destroyed the Democratic Party at this point. They're probably not going to be a major party. I don't know. It depends, I guess, how much money they have, but they really seem to be losing a lot of popularity. And, you know, even, like, in the super, like, liberal places, like the West Coast and you know, like, California and shit like that, like, they'll like Bernie Sanders and you know, the young kids and shit like that. They love socialism and shit like that. They're probably gonna go more extreme rather than stay with the Democratic Party. If anything else, I think somewhere else is gonna get, another party, probably. I don't know. I have no idea what other party, because I'm not really up on the other parties. But that would be my guess. I mean, like, Bernie Sanders had a lot of support, and especially in the Portland area. Up in, I know in the, Olympia area, I think he had a lot of support too. Bernie Sanders stickers fucking everywhere. I think that's the way the liberals were leaning. And, so, yeah, and, I mean, she just wasn't likable. She just wasn't likable. And the gall of this woman has so much fucking gall that she sits there. She's Secretary of State. She has a private server in her bathroom and leaks, confidential documents to other countries and shit, probably for money or favors or whatnot. And she probably knows about it, at least, having Seth Rich killed. All of it, and she has the gall to sit there and complain about not being president of the United States. What an entitled fucking cunt. Like, what a bitch. And I mean this in the most offensive way possible. Like, Hillary Clinton, if you look at Hillary Clinton as a human being, there is nothing redeemable about her. Like, she sits there and she fucking complains about not being our leader when she's sold us out time and time again. Like, what the fuck? You have no morals. You need to, like, just disappear. Like, seriously. You are... The only good thing she's good for is the fact that she has destroyed the Democratic Party. Because they can't seem to get their heads out of their asses anyway. They're starting to get annoyed with her too, but she just won't fucking stop talking. She's blaming Trump, Trump. She's blaming Trump, she's blaming Comey, she's blaming her own voters, she's blaming the American public, she's blaming Trump supporters, she's blaming the media. I mean, she's blaming fucking everyone. She's probably, blaming Moloch, Be like, I'm not sacrificing no more goats to you, you damn shit. You didn't get me what I wanted. What an idiot. That was a joke, by the way. For the conspiracy theorists. I do think Clinton's corrupt as hell. I have no idea if she actually sacrifices goats and babies and drinks human blood and all that good stuff, that they're supposedly supposed to be into with the Moloch and the giant. Was it an owl statue in... I can't remember the place. Where the rich people meet up for a fake sacrifice or something like that. I don't know. All that conspiracy theory bullshit. Anyway. Yep. It's an interesting time to be alive, that's for dang sure. I don't even know, like, how to process most of the stuff that happens in the world. It's like, okay, we have corrupt, politicians right now, and, it's almost like we're purging them via, the internet almost, like, there's so much that you can get access to via the internet, and it's so chaotic and it's so uncontrollable, and there's so many people talking at once, and all this stuff. And I mean, the governments can pick out individuals if they really want to target and shit like that, but unless you have, like, an intranet, like, in China, like, even if you have too many people to monitor effectively, you are gonna have a wild space where the truth is just gonna happen. It's just gonna come out. The whole reason that we even know that Clinton is corrupt as fucking hell for 100% positive sure is because of the internet. It's not like the media was gonna share this. If the media had it their way and the internet didn't exist, like they might have somebody on there once talking about how, oh yeah, Clinton's so corrupt and all this stuff, and then they would make him out to be like he was some fucking maniac. Oh my god, conspiracy theorist. I mean, they'll give you the information, but they'll spin it in a way where it's like, oh, that's just not true, blah blah blah, and that's not validated and stuff like that. They you know, they want to control who gets elected and who and what the people think and all this stuff and so on and so forth. It's like the internet has given people a powerful tool to fight back because they can't censor all of us. If all of us are talking at once, the only way to make a stop would be to turn off the internet, and quite frankly, that would be really fucking stupid. Really dumb. Yeah. It would be really, really dumb. Because people would riot. like, it's so much a part of our lives. Our banking is run through it. Our, Social Security, you know, all government stuff, social media. I don't know about you guys, but, like, I have everything on my cell phone. Like, you know, I have access to my bank account. Not everybody would have access to my bank account if they had my phone, because you have to have, you know, password and whatnot and so on and so forth. But, like, I have access to my internet, or to my banking, I have access to my car payments, I have access to, you know, anything that I need is on my phone. Emails, it's how I talk to people, you know, just whatever you want to do. It's so important, though. People's lives. Like, there's people who make money via the internet. You know, eBay and YouTube content creators and so on and so forth and etc. etc. It's, you know, shutting down the internet would be like the worst fucking thing that they could possibly do, because so many people use it for so many diverse reasons that literally everybody would probably revolt and start burning shit down, because they'd be like, fuck you, and then society would come to a halt until the government, like, started the internet back up. Because nobody would have access to, like, anything, because everything's becoming digitized now. Like, everything. Soon we're going to be digitized. We're going to live in the Matrix, and so on and so forth. No, I'm kidding. That is a trippy movie, though. Those movies, like, they're super trippy. Oh. For those of you who don't know, the Matrix is like, it's like, it's based off of Gnostic mythology or mysticism, Christian Gnostic mysticism. It's really interesting. And I was watching, I'm like, this is super, like, Christian in, like, its themes, and it's what it was naming people and stuff like that. And then I looked it up, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so that makes sense. I'm like, ah, right, Matrix, red pill, Gnosticism, makes perfect sense. Alright, I think I've rambled enough. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. Obviously, if you're still watching, you enjoy watching me, because why the fuck would you continue to listen to me ramble about, I don't know what the fuck I was rambling about. If that's the case, and I don't know why it would be, but you can subscribe, and odds are I'll be making videos again more. You know, I have a history of it. I like talking to myself in the camera. It's kind of like being in a mirror, you know, when I'm in front of my computer and I'm recording. And so I'm just looking at myself, and I don't know, maybe that's narcissistic. But you know what, I really don't care.